Tottenham 2, Fulham 0, and Spurs march back to the top of the English Premier League. And Ange Postecoglou now has, after 9 games into the season, the best start ever to a Premier League campaign for a new manager as he reaches 23 points, beating Mike Walker from the 92-93 season at Norwich and beating Gus Hiddink back in 08-09, who after his first 9 games in the league generated 22 points with back then a formidable Chelsea. To do it from Tottenham, who had an awful season last year in his first campaign in England, and he was doubted by a lot of people, his start has been nothing short of impeccable. And I'm someone that a few weeks ago held my hand up and said, got it wrong with Ange Postecoglou. Spurs tonight looked majestic, clean, potent. And often in life now, in the football world, I should say, tactics and patterns of play, just these words are bounded about without any real meaning. Spurs play very basic football, but they do it in such a superb, calculated, and powerful manner. There is always 2 or 3 players either coming for the ball or making runs. There's always an option 2 or 3 every time a player receives the ball. It is quick, 1-touch, 2-touch football. Yes, there's patterns of play. Yes, it's repetitive, but it's so hard to defend against. You don't quite know where anybody's going to be at any particular moment. And on top of this, confidence is starting to flow through this team. And right now, Spurs look scary. Spurs look dangerous. They look potent and poisonous to their oppositions. They really, really do. And as I say, they move the ball with such great fluidity. There's excellent movement. And that's the biggest thing that impressed me from an attacking point of view. It's the movement. You'll have Son making a run to the left. You'll have Maddison that will drop deep. You'll have Kulusevski making a diagonal run in from the right-hand side to the far post, giving, say, Richarlison, who's in possession, 2 or 3 options, making it very hard for the opponent. Again, I'm not playing this down. People are going to say, well, what's the style of play? It hasn't got a name. It's just football, and it is quick, and it is fast. It's 1-touch, 2-touch. There's almost not thinking. They're acting on instinct, which means the coaching drills are brilliant, and the confidence and the mentality right now at Tottenham is absolutely impeccable. To maintain that through these opening 9 games, the greatest start of a new manager in the history of the Premier League is nothing short of sensational, and Tottenham deserve their praise. They deserve their praise massively. They really, really do. And look, there were some Spurs fans that didn't think Postecoglou would do anything. There were Spurs fans worried about Harry Kane. Harry Kane who? No one's thinking about him anymore. This must be as well, by the way, the greatest start Spurs have ever had to a Premier League campaign. They look like an impeccable team. And James Maddison, Son, Kulusevski, these guys are so integral for the way that attack works. And the way they think and move, it's like a hive mind. They're all on the same page as one another. But do you know who really impressed me today? Romero and Mickey van der Ven at the back. First of all, van der Ven, deceptively quick. Excellent on the ball. Very decisive. Romero, do you know what I'm impressed with him with? The way he's winding people up as opposed to letting people wind him up. He's very good on the ball. He's a very good defender. I'm not taking anything away from him. But he's got the dark arts down to a T now. Don't you get wound up. Wind people up. Throw them off their game, if you will. But defensively, Spurs look very, very hard to break down. Very, very hard to penetrate. And when they do, at least 2 goal-saving saves. Goal-saving saves. That's what they are. Huge saves from Vicario. First from a corner at 0-0, pulled that out from behind him like a cat. And then right near the end, Jimenez goes through. Maybe there's 10 minutes left. There was 7 minutes of added time. So 17 minutes left in the game. Raul Jimenez scores that with the likes of Son and Maddison being off the pitch. Maybe, just maybe, there's a chance for Fulham. And he saves it. So it's just a team that is attacking with great consistency, a defense that is very hard to penetrate. And when you do break a line, when you do get in behind, Vicario's stepping up. And again, there was a lot of goalkeepers signed this summer by rivals. Vicario's name was probably low down the list on what everybody's expectations were. And he is killing it so far in the Premier League. Killing it. Most games I've watched him play, he has pulled off a save or two where, and Spurs fans, you'll correct me if I'm wrong, or you're probably thinking, oh, we've conceded. And he saves it. And that is invaluable. As I said at the top, this has been an impeccable start to the season by Tottenham. What Big Ange is doing, well, it is unprecedented because no new manager in the Premier League has ever done this before. It's the most amount of points ever. Klopp, Pep, Jose, Conte, none of them had this many points after 9 games. Phenomenal. It really, really is. Some super chats here. This one's just a super sticker from Thomas. I didn't say anything, but thank you very, very much for the donation. My brother here, Jerome, says, very good win tonight and confidence is through the roof. However, the lack of depth really showed why we will not be challenging for the Prem right now. Yeah, look, and I understand that. And maybe I'm not thinking about this in the same way as you, Jerome, because I'm not a Tottenham fan. But I wouldn't even be worrying about that right now. That's almost, do you know what that's like doing? It's like getting into the most amazing relationship ever. And I'm going to speak about this like it's me. You meet the most amazing, beautiful, smart, intelligent, funny woman who makes you feel like you're walking on air. You're absolutely head over heels in love. And then you go, do you know what, though? I don't want to enjoy this because one day one of us might die, or one day we might break up, or one day something might go wrong. You don't live life like that. You know you need to improve in January, but until that point, I mean it, Jerome, just enjoy it, brother. I wouldn't be thinking about the negative elements that can't be changed right now. If January comes and your owners don't do anything, then there we go. I love this. Terry twerking for Spurs again. But when I praise, I get told I'm twerking for. There we go. 2 Bassi mistakes, nothing else. Spurs got lucky. See, I'm going to disagree with you on that. Spurs pushed the needle, moved the needle, pushed the envelope. That's the saying. They applied that pressure, and there was multiple opportunities tonight for Spurs to score. Yes, they scored on 2. I don't know what you call those kind of attacks. Like they pressed the ball, won the ball back, and scored. Do people call that a transition? Maybe. They don't feel like counterattacks to me. Counterattacks normally start deeper, but maybe that's what the modern day fans call it. They scored 2 goals that way, but they could have scored multiple others. So yeah, I don't think Spurs were lucky in any way, shape, or form today. They really weren't. Now, Fulham missed open goals and chances they should be burying, and maybe. But even the chances they had were well saved by the goalkeeper. Goalkeepers making saves doesn't make you lucky. That's like saying scoring your shots because you've got a good striker makes you lucky. Like, City aren't that good. They're just lucky that the likes of KDB are good at creating chances. They're just lucky that Rodri's great at winning the ball back. They're not really good, really. Think about that when you say it out loud. That makes sense. Pedro Porro deserves more praise for his season so far. He's really impressed. I'm really impressed with him. It doesn't go to show that so many of these signings made for the previous pragmatic managers that are now doing well, was Spurs just behaving stupidly. You were buying players to play the Spurs way, but you didn't have the coach to do it. That's why so many are coming alive under a manager that's allowing them to... it's called counter-pressing. See, that don't sound right. Because counter-pressing would suggest you're countering somebody like... Maybe. Is that what it's called? Counter-pressing? But when you're attacking, it can't be counter-pressing. Counter-pressing, okay, you're pressing when they're trying to attack you. You call it a counter-press. Cool. Although a counter's always, okay, I can accept that. But what's the attack called from there? What do the modern-day fans call an attack after you've won the ball back from a counter-press? Is that what you guys call a transition? Even if it's that high up the pitch? I'm just trying to understand the modern-day technology. I don't know. It might not even have a name. They might not have a name. But there we go. Someone says, no, I didn't think it would be called that. Yeah, anyway, it doesn't really matter what it's called. It looks good, doesn't it? The Spurs downfall is not happening. Teams beware, is what's been said here. And don't get me wrong, I am loving the football right now, and that's all I'm asking for. I just don't want any pressure on my team by talking about title challenge. Spurs fans like myself are just enjoying this ride. And I would say this, mate, since you've become a father, Spurs have become very good. Since I became a father nearly 10 years ago, my team fell off. I might blame my kids. These damn kids. It's their fault. Right, I'm going to bring my panel out now to have their say on the show. Make sure, Terrence, stop hyping them. It's game 9. No, I'm sorry. I'm not having that. I told everybody last year I wasn't biased towards Arsenal. I praised Arsenal because they were very good last year. I'm going to praise Tottenham for how good they've been. It's going to happen. You can't not praise. This isn't luck after 9 games. It's not luck. Well, they stay there or not is a different question. But this isn't, they've scraped 2 or 3 wins. They've been the dominating side in most games they've played thus far. Spurs have not played Newcastle, Chelsea, City or Villa. Yes, but they've played Arsenal, they've played Liverpool, they've played Manchester United, they've played Brentford away, which is typically a hard game. Fulham are no mugs either. By the way, Fulham had opportunities and openings today. They just got shut down. Come on now. They're acting like Spurs have had no tests in terms of teams they've played is a fallacy. As a Liverpool fan, I'm starting to get worried, is what Jermaine says here. Della Spurs says, we played well and deserved the win. Defense was immense. Another clean sheet, and there are still holes on this bench. Still not title challenges, is what Della Spurs has got to say to us this evening. It's time to bring the boys out now to have their say. We've got young Daniel with us. Deji's here. Ari's back with us. Jacob and Orchie as well. Welcome back, gentlemen, to the show. Spurs, 9 games in. Top of the league. Talk to me, young Daniel. Talk to me.
Terry, you don't understand these last few years how much pain I've had to put up with. I've been coming on this channel for 3 years. The last 3 years, I've been told to become a Newcastle fan. The last 3 years supporting this football club, I've had to suffer every week knowing that Tottenham Hotspur was coming up this weekend, and I was gonna suffer watching this football. Oh my God! And I said it last time very hesitantly, Terry, and I was being very, but why aren't we in a title race? No. I'm tired of this for Tottenham fans. We are so used to not being at the top of the table and not being the cream of the crop and fighting at the top that we have just, we get the top and we don't know how to act. No, speak with your chest. You're top of the league. At this point, Arsenal, I'm pretty sure this is around the point where they were as far as top of the league last season. They were around the same point. And this is the point where people were saying, will Arsenal be title challengers? All I'm asking is to ask the question. And I think Tottenham at this point, unless we get a number of injuries that'll be insane, that's where I see our downfall coming from, will be the injuries. But tonight was unreal. The way that we just play football, the way that we press the teams, we don't even give them, like they can't breathe. We're suffocating them. We're choking them. The press is super, super amazing. The passing is amazing. I've just never seen nothing like this. And the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is absolutely, it's a fortress nowadays. For the rivals saying that we ain't played anybody, most of them are Arsenal fans. So you're saying that you're saying that your team is a nobody because we played you and we arguably should have beaten you. We played Liverpool and we played Man United, although they're bad right now currently. Who else are we supposed to play? Like, I don't know how Premier League rivals...
When you break it down, though, Man United at 8th, you've played Man United, Liverpool and Arsenal. So you've played 3 of the top 8. You can't play yourself, of course. So you've played almost 50% of the top 8. Arsenal have played you and City and us. That's it. So so in terms of the top 8, Arsenal played the same amount as you, and pretty much everybody inside that top 8 has played about that, other than Man United, who have played Brighton, Arsenal. We've played 4. Will it be 5 this week? So yeah, everyone's played about the same amount of teams. A bit of relegation, a couple of mid-table, a couple of top teams. Literally everyone's played the same
Exactly.
That's how fixtures work, by the way. They're done fairly like that. Yeah.
Like, I don't know how rivals expect the first 9 games of your season to be the best 9 teams in the Premier League. No, you're going to face bad teams and you're going to face good teams. That's how the season works. And if you even look at the teams that we haven't played in the top 6, we have Man City, which we beat every season, and we have Chelsea, who've been very poor this season. So I don't know. Rivals are expecting us to face one of these teams, like maybe Newcastle. I would say Newcastle would be one that I'm actually scared to go and see, like, that one's worrying me. I think we might drop points in that one. But I'm confident against any team in the Premier League season. In the Premier League, I'm confident to go against them at their home or at our home, and beat them. I'm generally confident and play good football against them and dominate.
I hear you, young Daniel. Deji, obviously you spoke about this game earlier on today. You were a little worried maybe, that the 9-game slip could come in, but you were dominant. You blew them away, really. Talk to me about your team's performance tonight.
Yeah, almost, Terry. I almost want to say, like, I kind of told everyone so in the preview, and I'm glad that we had the preview. Anyone who didn't check it out, make sure you go and check it out. I said to you, my only worry was when Spurs have been in this moment before, we've let the side down. But I did also say that under Postecoglou, there is something different cooking with this Tottenham Hotspur team. And I big up my boy, Dan, for just kind of laying it out to you. I said earlier that if Tottenham get through Fulham with 3 points, you need to, if you think Man City, Liverpool and Arsenal are in for the title challenge, then you've got to include my club in that conversation. And the way, can I just be real? The way that Postecoglou disposed of Fulham, this man is class. He could take off 4 of our main players, Sarr, Maddison, Son. I was thinking, what the hell? We still got 30 minutes to go. He's taken off our big game players, brought on the so-called second string, and just calmed the game down so that our boys are fully fresh for the game against Crystal Palace on Friday. If that is man management at its best. I also reminded everyone, Postecoglou has swept the gongs. Premier League manager in August, Premier League manager in September, for a reason. Yeah? We saw Arsenal huff and puff like the 3 little pigs when they played Fulham at home earlier this season. It's Fulham. It's Fulham. Let's be real. Fulham were put to the sword today without us coming out of gear 2. That's what we did. We had full control of the game. So for me right now, and for the people on the panel and for the cronies in the chat, all I'm asking for is respect my club. Postecoglou has delivered. And also, Terry, may I say now, he's not just done 2 managers of the month in a row. He's also now the best manager in terms of the first 9 games at a new club. Take a bow, son, Postecoglou. Take a bow and thank you very, very much.
Deji, there's a word you said in there that's called respect. And we're not going to get it. Let's be real. There's been 9 games into the season, and every single time we win, the rivals bring up an excuse. Oh, the refereeing. Oh, it's only Fulham. I'm expecting it to be only Fulham. I think the refereeing wasn't bad today. So
but Dan, it's better when it's that. It's better when it's like that. It's better when it's like that. It's better when people disrespect.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you a question. You said Big Ange is different, Deji. You said that Spurs are now different. Define that for me. What do you think is different now compared to recent years, and what is that going to lead to, in your opinion?
I think Spurs are, under Postecoglou, they're more resilient. So when people talk about Tottenham being Spursy, they're really saying that we're not a resilient side. We have seen, based on the first 9 games, that Spurs are more resilient. We go to the end of the game, but also they're a lot more mature in their performances. I've never seen a Tottenham team, just dominate every bloody team they play. Doesn't matter who you are on this planet, but also just kill off a game. When he made the changes to bring on Skip and Lo Celso and all these men there and bloody Emerson Morale, he just said, game done, and I'm just going to just stink the place out, and we're not going to do anything, but neither are you. That's what he did. And I've never seen that with any Spurs team. Someone please remind me if they have. And because of that, I think there's a shift. And I also told you, normally, why people get on Spurs is because when they say Spursy or whatever, like, somewhere down the line, you see some stupidness. And to be fair, there were a couple of moments tonight, Vicario's header, that you think, what the blood clot are you doing? And there was a couple of little wobbly moments, but nothing to really punish Spurs. I just felt that we were comfortable throughout the game. We were in control from start to finish. And I've never seen a Spurs side like that. And look, people keep wishing bad. Can you stop that? I'm not wishing bad on any of your players. I hope every single team have their players fit. We don't want to see Premier League teams with players injured and on the, not playing for their clubs. Don't be wishing bad on my club. Let the players cook and be healthy. The other last thing I will say is this. All Tottenham need to do is stay healthy and get to bloody Christmas. That's all we got to do. Because I don't think Tottenham, Daniel Levy is stupid enough to do an Arsenal where we've got an opportunity to bring in players in Jan, and instead of going out and having a Nando's, you decide to go for a Dixie fried chicken instead. I don't think Tottenham Hotspur is that stupid. So for me, I'm just hoping that the players stay injury-free, we hold on for dear life, and we get to Jan, and then we add the 3 additions that this team needs to take us to the promised land. And what you said, what does good look like? Top 4. That's it. If we get top 4, the Spurs fan base is happy. Anything above that, mate, is a bloody bonus, if you ask me.
I hear you on that. I really, really do. Harry, how impressed were you tonight? And I've seen a few of your comments in the private chat. Do you really believe that? I don't want to out you. You want to say it?
We're going to win the league. Terry, I'm going
again.
to say it to you now. I'm going to say it to everyone watching. We're going to win the league. I don't care what type of things anyone's trying to say to me. I do not care. We're winning the league. We'll beat City home and away, easy, right? Arsenal want to chat. Chelsea want to chat. You saw what happened when Chelsea want to chat. United fans had to come in and back it. Let's be real. We're winning the league. I don't care. We get the points. We clean up. We're top of the league. Let's celebrate it.
What do you think? You believe you're winning the league from this point, and you're entitled to that opinion.
Yeah.
What is different now about your club that you think will allow you to maintain this quality that you've produced in the last 9 games? How do you do that for another 29 games? How do you believe you'll do that?
Brilliant point. So obviously we've got no European football, as we know. We've got no League Cup. We only got the FA Cup to go. That's fine. That's 1 cup. We got the consistency. We've got the squad depth to go. We just got to carry it on. We just got to carry on believing. And all these people that hate in saying, "Oh, Spurs can't do it. Oh, they want to put on us a Friday and a Monday." The Premier League don't want us to win. And that's the truth. The Premier League don't want us to win. No one wants to believe. The only people believing are us Spurs fans in here. We are going to do it. You think we can't cope with City? Cool. I've seen it before. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. I've seen us batter them. We're going to carry on doing it. We have got the consistency. We have got the team. We've got the belief to do it. And people are going to carry on hating. People are going to carry on crying. And that's fine. I'm going to drink their tears in my pint I've got to my right side right now. I'm going to stick the tears in. And I promise you I will. We've got it. It's coming.
Big claims there. Welcome to the Football Terrace for the first time. Kate is here. You're shaking your head at what he's saying there. Welcome to the show, by the way. So a big win for you tonight. You sit top of the league. A brilliant start by Big Ange. Are you winning the league? According to young Harry, you are. You're on mute.
Is that better? Can you hear me okay? Right.
Perfect.
I can't cope with this fan base and the delusion. It's no wonder we get bantered by every other club. Honestly, have people forgotten that we're up against the likes of Manchester City, Liverpool, Arsenal? Do you know what I mean? It's been like 9 games. Yeah, it's a fantastic start, but we've got Dyer on the bench. Dyer is sat on our bench. Our squad depth is 0. We've got nothing. We've got a fantastic first 11. There's no debating that. After that, we're wafer thin. We've got Skippy. We've got Højbjerg, albeit he didn't have a bad game tonight. Dyer, Davis, all still in our squad. I can't understand where this delusion has come from Spurs fans. I'm 45, and for 23 years, I've watched Daniel Levy refuse to back a manager year after year after year, and the manager ended up getting sacked. Why has everyone suddenly got this false sense of confidence that Daniel Levy's going to back Ange to bring in all these superstar players and challenge against the likes of Man City? We're top of the league after 9 games. It's not a 9-game season.
Of
We don't
course,
need
I understand that, but I don't get why will you not back your team? Do you want
Of course I'm
Liverpool
backing my
to win the
team.
league?
For me, I'm backing my team, but I'm not an idiot, right? We are not going to win the league unless Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal have the biggest drop-off and we go through a season injury-free. That is the
Liverpool
only
already
possible
dropping
way. Huh?
Liverpool already dropping off.
Oh my God, you're taking the pee. There's no way you can seriously believe what you're saying. There's just no possible way you're that stupid. I'm sorry, but there's no possible way.
No, there
You
isn't.
cannot be that deluded. How old are you? About 18?
I'm 23.
Right. Well, I've
You
been
can
alive
ID
and seen.
me if you want, but I'm still getting in the club. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's be real about it.
I've seen my team for 23 years under the board of Enoch and Daniel Levy. And let me tell you something. They do not go out and buy superstars. They go out and buy tin pot players for tin pot prices, right? That's just what they do. Ange wanted 2 centre-backs. He brings in Van der Ven, who's a Rolls Royce, and then he goes and gets Ashley Phillips, who's about 18, right? And these players don't win you leagues.
He was on the bench, by the way, Ashley Phillips.
He was on the bench,
I think
exactly.
Van der Ven is good enough to win us a league. He's a quality
Yeah,
quality
but
player.
oh my God.
No, but I'm not being funny.
Can
Can I just say something? I'm not being funny, but you've come on here and you said 2 things that's really pissed me off. You've named Liverpool, who we've played, and you've named Arsenal, who we've played. We beat one of them and we drew with one of them. How about you just stand and just chillax? We've got the best manager that we've had in the 45 years that you so-called been supporting the club. Let's be real. We've had dusty managers.
25 years I've been supporting them for 40, darling.
What I'm trying to say is, can't you see that this is a different Tottenham team? This is a different team.
But we're not winning the league.
Why don't you take the advice of our current gaffer and enjoy the ride?
In your 23 years,
Don't turn us into banter FC by claiming we're going to win the league when we're not every player on the bench.
I think you'd be a Spurs fan and you come here like some sort of...
Oh, yeah, that's a good argument. I was going to support that lot up the road. Yeah, that's the original.
You're 23 years.
I was supporting Spurs before you were born.
Yeah, you might have been born before me. That's absolutely fine. Get it. But look, in your 23 years, have you seen the development? Have you seen what we are now?
No, I've seen it go backwards, forwards. Oh my God, we were top of the league under Conte.
If I may interject here,
guys,
everyone needs to calm down. Take a chill pill. We're doing fantastic, but at the start of the season, there was no talk of winning the league. We was going to any type of Europe, we'd be happy. Don't get carried away, for God's sake. It's a project.
But in the top of last season for Arsenal, they were not
just going to interject for a minute. We're going to go to Alan. What you're saying? We are going to get back to the performance in a minute, but just on this topic that's currently happening right now. After Kate arrived and caused carnage. Thank you, Kate. Love it. Alan, what's your thoughts on this? Is it too early, in your opinion, to speak about winning the title?
It's way too soon, way too early. Yeah. Look, we've been in this position before. We were in this position, I think, in November under Mourinho, and it fell apart. Look, there's absolutely no way. Look, I understand that fans want to be enthusiastic. We are playing good football. I hate to say that. We're playing really good football. But you cannot sit here and tell me that drop-off in this second half, when those players came off and had that on, that if you're doing that, if you're going 1-0 up, even if it's against Man City, you go 1-0 up, 2-0 up, and then you drop off like that you're going to win the league. It's a building process. We've started well. You now have to do it in January. You have to do it again in the summer and build from there. Look, I'm happy for all the positive and all that, but when I hear people go, because you don't think we're going to win the league or back your thing, you're not a real Spurs fan. Sorry, that is just ridiculous comeback.
Thank you.
People can be keeping their eyes on the prize in regards to, we're doing really well, we're winning football matches. But guys, when was the last time a team that were 9 games that were sitting here going, a Man City or Liverpool and that, when do you see them going, we've won the league and all that? We're so reactionary as a fan base. We're literally puffing out our chest after 9 games. You're forgetting December. 1 second, you're forgetting December. There are 7 games in December, and we played the likes of Newcastle, we played the likes of Villa, we played the likes of Man City. All these teams are really good and on the same level now. Now, again, we did get lucky against Liverpool, but we done really well against Arsenal, and we beat a Man United team that were good in the first half, but shocking in the second half. We've had good results. But to start coming in here and going, we're going to win the league in October, I'm sorry, I'm not on board with that. Why can we not just sit here and say, look, we're playing really well, we're getting the results, we're getting points on the board, we're getting, we're keeping ourselves up there, but also when you take all of that away, if we have a bad game and then we have to rest players or bring players off in the 70th minute, and then we've got them people on who aren't going to impact the game, then we're going to end up losing games like that. I just don't understand why, because we haven't had it for so long. As soon as we get a good run together or good start, people go, we're going to win the league. I just don't get it. Well, look, we're doing really well, but show me, based on what are we going to win this league after 9 games? Anyone? Based on what are we going to win this with another 29 games to go? What has made you sit here and say
Consistent performances.
the system?
Alan, listen. I'm not saying that we're going to win the league. I'm saying that we should be up for the race. People should be putting our names in the race. I'm not going to go ahead of myself and saying that we're going to win the league in October. But I think that we should be considered in the question of the title race. And I don't think that should be debatable. We are top of the league by 2 points, and possibly we could be top of the league by 5 points if we win against Crystal Palace on Friday. I don't understand why Tottenham fans are so scared to talk and say, yeah, we're in the title race. I understand that it's a big
experience,
Yes.
Title race.
The reason for me that I'm saying the reason for me that I'm saying this is not because we have beaten the likes of Arsenal, we've drawn the likes of Arsenal, and we've gotten results against Liverpool and Man United. It's because of these games that I'm watching right now. These last few seasons, these are the type of teams that we struggle against, and these are the teams that you need to beat to win and be in the title race. These are the type of teams you need to beat. Yeah, you can have those great performances against the Man Cities, but these small teams, these small performances, getting the 3 points against them consistently is what teams do when they're in a title race. That is the evidence that why we should have our names in the title race.
And that's the thing I don't. That's the thing I don't understand is these points add up. All right, these points add up, and what genuinely baffles me is that we are top of the league. Yeah, 9 games, 4 games, 3 games, whatever it is, we're top of the league. Why are we not going to believe? We're just going to admit defeat after 9 games. Are we just
but don't come on here and say you're going to win the league.
One sec. Are we going to take off our green shirt and there's a red shirt under it? I don't understand.
That's such a good argument. Well done. Congratulations on a really lame argument. That is the most pathetic argument there is. Are you an Arsenal fan? Yeah, I'm an Arsenal fan. What are you, 12? That's the worst argument ever. Can I just say, right, we have seen all you little kids, right? I'm 45 and we have seen 23 years of neglect of this club. All the while we're under Levy and Enoch. We're not going to go out and buy the Rodris of this world. We're not going to go out and buy superstars. We're going to stick to buy Jed Spence, these sort of players, right? And when you've got a bench...
Why don't you name someone we signed this last summer? Why don't you name someone we signed recently? Why don't you name someone we signed under this manager? Just throwing that out. And you also look at... Someone asked, what are some reasons why we should believe that Levy could operate differently? Well, for one, he went in front of the whole world and said, I got this wrong, I got that wrong, and then I got this wrong. Here's how I'm trying to change it. I understand that people have these like self-defense mechanisms. They put up barriers because they've been traumatized before, but it's like, it's okay. You can enjoy this. There's a great book I can recommend to you. It's called The Power of Now. I think Eckhart Tolle wrote it. You should check it out. It'll help you enjoy what's going on. I think both sides can be a little bit right here. Like you can have a reservation about what can happen in the future, but you should enjoy what's going on now because no other manager in the history of the Premier League has gotten 23 points out of 9 matches. So that's something to enjoy. Our manager's won back-to-back manager of the month.
Jacob,
okay.
I'll name a player now. I'll name a player now. Phillips, who's our backup defender, who hasn't played a minute, and what? Yeah.
So why are you going to base that? Why are you going to base that on his signings?
So you're pulling out a guy who hasn't seen 1 minute, not even in the 90th.
Somebody who has.
Bring up someone who's seen the pitch.
Jacob.
Solomon. Very underwhelming.
That wasn't a thing. It was players that were on the bench. So I named the player who was on the bench who hasn't played a minute.
It's okay to be okay. I'm just saying.
Jacob, can I ask you a question?
Yeah,
we will get back to performance in a bit. Are you on the sort of side here of Harry and Dan and Deji that you're in this title race, that you can win this league? Are you feeling confident about doing that?
I would say where I'm at is you can't tell me it's impossible. But do I think it's going to happen? Realistically, no. But it's not impossible, especially with where we're at. And it's okay to enjoy this, hope for good things. And then you know what? If you aim, what is the old saying? Shoot for the moon, you might fall on some stars, which is scientifically incorrect anyway. But my point being, hey, Spurs fans have had enough trauma over the years, as on example by Kate and others who have said, oh, it's been 20 some years of this, that, and the other. Look, I get that. I sympathize with that. But at the same time, yesterday's Spurs is not today's Spurs. You've seen that through 9 matches. You asked where the context is. I would say in the performances in those 9 games. I would also say, how many times have we fought back from positions in which we would lose last year, the times in which everyone else likes to recite? I'm just saying it's okay to have a little hope. It's okay to put your face out here and say, you know what, crazy things may happen. That's the beautiful sport, right? So I hold my reservations. I'm keeping my energy the same as it was in the summer, which is I just want to see entertaining football. I want to see our players happy. I want to see chemistry building and a pathway from the academy to the first team. I'm seeing that. And I'm seeing everything that I've asked for and more. So how can I not be happy and then say, yeah, you know what? It is not impossible that we could win the league. It is possible. It is a mathematical possibility. I just feel like I'm going to err on the side of enjoying myself. Life is hard enough. Football is supposed to be something that helps help you feel a little bit better and maybe distract you from your problems. That's what I'm choosing to do. Again, everybody's different. Nobody's wrong based on your feelings, but just it's okay to be okay.
I'm with Jacob. Can I just quickly say, where on earth has Kate not said that we play good football under this manager? And I've said it as well.
Thank you, Alan.
Just don't believe we win the league. And again, Jacob, Deji said it, and even Harry said it. You're not Spurs fans if you don't think you win in the league. Oh, you're not positive.
I never said that. Don't lie. I never said that. Don't say my name and put me with some false statement, Alan. That's not cool.
It's not a false statement. You literally just.
I never said you're not a Spurs fan. If you, I never said that, Alan. Don't lie. Do not lie.
Jacob, I said. Other people have said that, and I said that you said that we're not being positive. But Kate said we're playing positive football, and I've said that. So listen, I said about you saying that about not being positive. I said other people not wearing the other people are wearing an Arsenal shirt. So you need to listen to what I'm saying and not get caught up in emotions. You're saying about other people's feelings, you just got caught up in your own feelings as well.
Guys,
how are we angry?
Listen.
How are we angry after a post-match show?
I was going to say, you guys are top of the league. You're angrier than me, and I'm a Man United fan. It's a madness. It's a madness. Gents, let's chill out, right? And ladies, sorry. I'm usually mainly talking to men. Very, very sorry, ladies. Is it Ellie?
Yes.
Yes, Ellie. Give me your thoughts on the performance. You're muted, by the way. Actually, no, I'll unmute you. Give me your thoughts on your team's performance tonight and this great start under Big Ange.
Right, there was some good, there was some bad, and there was some ugly. Right, that's how I saw it. Right, the good was Madders and Sonny's link-up play. Richarlison was playing very well, battling hard, pressing very well. The whole team, from defensive point of view, for the first half, we were excellent. The second half, we fell off a bit. We gave a lot of the ball away, which comes when you lose players like Madders going off, because he's the one who can retain the ball. But luckily for us, we've done some very good defensive blocks. And I saw a lot of positives in the defensive side in the second half, because Sarr was out of this world. That block he did, like that headed block, was fantastic. And then Emerson Royal, fantastic as well. So there was a lot of positives. There was some very bad negatives as well. So, other teams would have punished us there, with better strikers. So we got to be wary of this league title push, because I'm not cautious. I think we can push on and do very well, but let's take it one step at a time. Don't get ahead of ourselves. Let's see how this season goes, because it can all crumble. We've seen it before with many other teams. You saw it with Arsenal when they bottled it last year. I had to get that one in, Spurs fans. Yes, right? So we've got to take our time, really take stock of what we've come, how far we've come. And Postecoglou, he will keep these players grounded. That's one thing for sure, because this man is a winner. He's won everywhere he's gone, and he's come into the Premier League like a breath of fresh air. He's Greek like myself, so I'm bigging him up. Come on, the Greeks, get in the Greek, and everything will be all right, But I'm not saying we're going to win the league. What I'm saying is that we can do well, right? And however we do, right, I'm going to be very proud of this team, and I'm going to be very proud of Postecoglou, because he's brought us a long way in a very, very short time.
Do you know what's interesting? This joke's probably going to go over the head of the kids watching. But listening to you two ladies talk, you're so cockney. I feel like I'm watching an episode of Birds of a Feather. Legitimately.
Yes.
Legitimately.
Yes.
And I'm not saying either of you are Doreen either. Like, I'm not saying that.
Tottenham.
I'm
I
not
was
saying
born and
that.
bred in Tottenham, mate. That's
Well,
right.
yeah, you sound it. You sound it.
Yeah.
To be fair, Orchie's with us all the way
Hello.
from Istanbul, and you obviously watched Birds of a Feather back in the day.
Yeah, of course.
Look, you guys were great today. I wanted to ask you specifically though about a couple of players.
Yeah.
Romero and Mickey van der Ven at the back as a partnership individually. They just look supreme right now.
They do, mate. They do, and I think Vicario as well at the back in goal, and Pedro Porro. I mean, how poor or how inconsistent was Porro last season? But yeah, I mean, I think Vicky van der Ven coming in has definitely improved Romero. I mean, they're both at the moment. They are both, they're fighting for each other. Their understanding is perfect. When one of them is. There are times when, Romero even joins attacks and puts in balls where, Van der Ven covers for him. And then when Van der Ven sometimes, goes a little bit more forward, Romero's there. Like today, they were both phenomenal. They stopped some fantastic counterattacks by Fulham and Porro. I mean, every game, I think, he's been immense, both defending and attacking. He's literally up and down that pitch on the right-hand side. And I think he's even shored up Romero's game as well. Yeah, amazing. And again, I mean, you were saying, like, what's the difference between Tottenham this season and last couple of seasons? And it's definitely, we now have a manager who is genuinely happy to be there. He's happy to be there. He's happy to bring on all of these players. And I think, like you said in your intro, it's like both Mourinho, Conte, I think they were arrogant. They're like, hey, we're winners. We know how to win. We know how to do this. So you either do it our way or we're not interested. Whereas this guy's come in and he said, right, I'm going to take all of these players, get the best out of them. They're good players, get the best out of them. And that's exactly what he's doing. And that's what I would say, this whole argument about our Tottenham title contenders or not, I think Ellie said it best. I'm proud of what the team's achieving so far this season. Nobody expected us to, start the season like this. Nobody, even pretty much, I'm sure, majority of the Spurs fans. So that's why I understand the enthusiasm of the other guys getting excited because, let's be honest, we've suffered for since Pochettino left or he got the sack. Spurs fans have really suffered majority of the time. The football's been crap, negative football, terrible football. All right, we've won games. We qualified for Champions League under Conte's, first half season. But we've really suffered over these last 3 or 4 years. And that's after a team that almost won we made it to the final of the Champions League. We had a couple of seasons where we were genuine title contenders under Pochettino again. So, we kind of really, for the first time in our history or Premier League history, Tottenham were doing something, or it looked like we were building up to something special under Pochettino. And rightfully so, as Kate said, Levy did not. The reason why we didn't do it is I don't blame Pochettino for that. I blame Levy 100%. How can you go 500 and odd whatever days without backing your manager and expect him to win, when you're so close to breaking that top?
That's a question I'd like to throw to I don't want to say positive and negative because I don't think anybody's being negative on the show.
Realistic and optimistic. There you go.
Yeah, I think that's more it. What, like Daniel, young Daniel, what is it? Why do you think Daniel Levy, and Harry, I'm asking this question too as well. Why do you think Daniel Levy is going to be different this January compared to multiple other, if there's 2 a year, compared to the other 46 transfer windows he's been in charge of? What do you think will be different this time around, in your opinion?
I don't think Levy will change. I think he definitely will bring up some of those players that we always like to sign under Daniel Levy, those young prospects, and we'll bring them up to Ange Postecoglou. But Ange Postecoglou said in the fan forum clearly, if he does not want a player, he is not going to get signed. Right in front of Daniel Levy's face. Daniel Levy's face did not flinch. Another thing, we have changed the way that we're scouting for players. A lot of rivals are not looking at this. Was reported in the summer before we signed Vicario, before we signed Mickey van der Ven, before we signed all these upcoming players that are looking amazing on the pitch right now. The way that we're scouting footballers right now is on a the way that Leicester was scouting players that year that they were in the title race when they won the Premier League is off of stats. they have a mechanism that they look at statistical information of a footballer's ability in order to sign them. So it's not Daniel Levy anymore. It's numbers. And I trust numbers way more than Daniel Levy. That's for sure.
So are you telling us live on the air now that you're a stat merchant and not an eye test merchant anymore?
I'm not a stat
I'm just winding you up.
No, a stat merchant or nothing.
How about yourself? Harry? Like, what do you think is going to be different this time around? Do you agree, echo what Dan's saying, or do you have a different theory?
Honestly, I just think it's like everyone wants to focus on the bench, for example. But what I want to focus on is what we've got right now. What we've got right now is a consistent team that keeps delivering, no matter how bad our apparent bench is, but we keep delivering, right? Yes, I may have not watched football for Tottenham for the last 23 years, but I'm 23 right now and I'm here, all right? We keep delivering. Once we win the league, everyone will laugh at me. Of course, they're going to laugh now. But when the league comes and we win it, and I watch it, and all my family watch it, and everyone around me watches it, all the tears leading up to it, that's just filling up another pint. Do you know what I mean? But when it happens, I promise you this. What's going to happen in the summer? Oh, my God, Champions League football. Oh, my God, I want to come to Tottenham. They're the best team in the country. I want to come to Tottenham. So you can say this and that about Levy. I get it. And I've got the same opinions, but I just want to focus on what we've got right now.
Are you the best team in England?
Honestly, City are the best team in England, and I genuinely think we're second. I'll argue anyone against it. I'll argue the whole chat.
I actually agree. I think
Me and Dan are similar. We got
why are you laughing at that?
That's so funny. We haven't won a trophy in like 15, 16 years.
Are you a Tottenham fan? I want to ask if you're a Tottenham fan or not.
Can you mute this kid? Because he's shouting like a child. Can you just mute him? He's doing my brain. I'm trying to have a conversation.
I'm muting myself.
I've got a YouTube channel and I have sensible debates, right? And I'm trying to debate your point. You said you'll challenge anyone. I tell you why we're not the second best team in England. We haven't won a trophy for 15, 16 years, whatever it is. And the last one was the League Cup, right? First of all,
personally.
Wait, but you're not hearing. Wait,
Harry,
you're saying this season.
I don't think you're a Tottenham fan.
This season.
Yeah, that's not Teddy Sheringham. That's actually Thierry Henry. But then again, you're about 23. I don't know if you even remember the legend that is Teddy Sheringham.
You might have 10 scarves around the wall, darling. But let's just face right now.
You're a mug. That is the muggiest argument on the planet. Go and support that lot up the road. You're not a proper Tottenham fan. Just because I can see my team without mugging myself up by saying we're the best team in England or the second best team. Grow up. We're nowhere near the second best team in England. Nowhere near it. Oh my God. What do you get a trophy after 9 games?
One second.
Go on your iPad and look at the top of the league. We're talking.
Because everyone wins the Premier League in October. Yeah, we might get a special mention. Honestly, the delusion is real.
We're top of the league.
Fringe of the highest level.
What I will say is, Kate, I agree with you. With a lot of things that you're saying, because I'm 45 myself, by the way, and I've watched Tottenham for a very long time, a lot of painful years. But the positive things, and I understand where the guys are coming from. What they're saying, I think what they're actually trying to say is that this is one of the best starts that this is literally the best start that teams had for like in the history. Like I think we're going back to the 60s now, or even before then that Tottenham have had. What gives me encouragement, to be honest, is tonight, I'll be honest with you, until Son scored, there were a couple of chances where and afterwards, I even don't think that Son is playing his best game at the moment. I don't think Kulusevski's playing his best game at the moment. We've all forgotten, by the way, nobody's actually mentioned tonight. Basuma was, obviously he's not available, like he can't play. And I was really worried. I was worried about, because he's been so key to our team this season, obviously with his performances. I was really worried, but I was also kind of not happy, but I was looking forward to seeing how the team were going to perform without him in that team. And I've got to be honest with you, Højbjerg, all right, he's not my favorite player either. But I think he did a pretty good job covering him. All right, it was only Fulham and they weren't great tonight. But they can be, this is the kind of team where last season we wouldn't start playing until the second half with either a goal or 2 goals down. And they're
Højbjerg had 2 interceptions leading to 2 goals, by the way, for what it's worth.
And
I hear you on that.
I think at Tottenham, even our first 11 have still got gears to go up and get even better.
I hear you on that. I want to go to some of these super chats. We've had quite a lot come in. I want to obviously respect the audience. Jerome here says we had the most tests from the start, and I guess guess what? We are still unbeaten, like the so-called second best team in the country. How many gets on TFT even after a Prem game is finished? Big up Terry, Arsenal for life. Come on, you gooners. Thanks, Henry. I appreciate the super chat, brother. Everyone calm the F down. Spurs are a shit club and will forever be a shit football club. It's week 9. They will fall off soon. Have some sense, is what Kane Anthony says.
Cry more.
Spurs are not in the title challenge. It's not even injuries. Once teams start playing low block against you, it's over. Do you agree with that, Jacob? Once teams sit deep, because this gets labeled a lot of teams that start doing well, that no one's really respecting you yet. That's the way it will be phrased on socials. No one's respecting you. They're opening up against you. Do you believe there's any truth in that at all, mate?
I mean, there is a little bit of truth over the course of 90 minutes, but at the end of the day, what matters is the result to me. A low block team want to sit back and we still win the match. To me, it doesn't matter at the end of the day because we got the 3 points. So I think there is a little bit of an alarm for people when we go against these low block teams that they fear that we won't be able to break them down. But every single low block team we've come across thus far, transition team, counterattacking team, whatever you want to call them, we've broken them down and gotten the goal. And it looked like we should have been up 4-0 in the first half today. So I don't think that there's a problem breaking down low block. When you look at Luton, we should have been up 2-0 in the first 5 minutes. I don't think we have a problem breaking down the low block. I think that's just, look, when you're on top, people are going to find any reason to try and pull you back down. Spurs fans included. You've seen it here today. So I'm saying that, like, I understand why people say what they want to say, and like I get it, but at the end of the day, like I would never put words in somebody else's mouth. I would never say somebody said something that they didn't, and that's just me. That's just how I roll. Maybe it's a Southern American in me that's being, gentlemanly. I don't speak ill of others. I don't put words in other people's mouth. What I will say is this: you're allowed to feel however you want to feel. You're allowed to feel however you want to feel about what I say, but at the end of the day, when we're pulling 3 points versus these low block teams that we can't break down and we're playing the title contenders. I'm told these teams are title contenders and they can't even beat us in their own home. How are they title contenders? I'm told Liverpool are the dark horses for the league, but we beat them. Shout out Joel Matip. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are the questions that keep coming up and we keep answering them. And long may that continue.
You guys know I'm a United fan, but I'm not biased. And there's been times if people go back 4 or 5 years, even last season, I got a lot of stick from Spurs fans because I wasn't nice about you and I was praising Arsenal. But that was just because I told you I was right. You guys were awful last year and Arsenal were really good. A few years prior to that, I was praising you guys when you were great, especially under Poch. I think that the reason why it's hard to believe that Spurs are going to win the league is because even as great as this start has been, there is no precedent, there is no evidence that this group of players can win the Premier League, that this manager can win a league of this magnitude, because it's as a collective and individually, it's not been done before. So I think that there's a Liverpool being a slightly off the pace from you, but this group with their manager has been there, done it, worn the T-shirt. That know-how is so important. City, of course, everybody knows they're going to be in the title race because of their manager and how good they are. Arsenal, 18 months or so now, they've been pretty good. They've started okay. I still think they've got a gear to go, but there's still more of they've won some trophies in the last few years. So I do think it's hard for people to hear, yeah, we're definitely going to win the league from this point, when there's almost, I know Leicester did what Leicester did, but without taking anything away from Leicester, I actually think you're a bigger club than them, but a much bigger club than them. But that season, if you also go back to that season, all of the top 6 were off the pace that year. That was a bigger anomaly than them winning it. It was the fact that nobody was that good that season. And that's not taking anything away from Leicester. They'll still love it. And I just think for you guys, if you guys do maintain this and you win it, with how good City are, with how good Liverpool are, with how good Arsenal are, and the fact that you guys haven't done it for 62 years since you last won a league title, it would be unprecedented. I actually think it would be a bigger achievement than Leicester's when you look at who you're now facing and who you're up against and how good these teams currently are. coupled with your season last year. And I think that's why people find it hard to believe, because it would be such a shock to do it straight away. However, I do believe you're building a foundation to be in the title race, a foundation. Because that's what you do at this stage. And then I think January is going to be important, because if you add to it and you don't get injuries and you keep playing like this, great. I'm not someone that believes Spurs are going to collapse, fall away and come ninth. I think that's delusional. You're playing, the football's too good for that to happen. My personal opinion.
Well, Ange Postecoglou said the same thing. Sorry, go ahead.
Go on. No,
can I say something about that Leicester comment, right? Because when Leicester won the league, we were far better than them. We should have won it. We should have bloody won it, but we just gave it away. We bottled it. And it wasn't Leicester winning, it's us giving it away, because we were so good that season. We scored so many goals, and defensively we were really, really good. It's just that we just fell off. Like you said, Terry, we didn't have experience of doing it. You know, when you've got that experience under the bag, it does count a lot.
And even you guys as fans, and I genuinely mean this as someone who's gone through title races.
Yeah.
Once you get into, if you're top of the league by say 4 points with 10 games to go, trust me when I tell you, you're going to experience emotions that you've never experienced before in your life. The match-going fans do. Every decision that doesn't go your way creates a reaction like I don't even mean this rudely. You'll have never experienced anything like. It's different from cup games and Champions League, which are one-off nights. It's a constant pressure all the time. And if the fan base has never experienced it, because without being rude, most people that remember winning the league the last time Spurs did it, those people are in their 70s and 80s now, or all dead. Like, so you don't have anyone in the fan base that has gone through it. And all of those things factor in being able to handle pressure. I speak about City's fans all the time. No matter what's going on, they're always relaxed because they know what their team can do. And their relaxed nature helps their team. And there's so many trials and tribulations to go through. I want to jump into some more of these super chats because I don't want to disrespect the audience. This here says, Terry, the gods have spoken. City win at Spurs. Yeah, I mean, Harry, you saying you're going to beat them easily?
No chance. I've seen it before, Terry. I've seen it home and I've been away and I've seen it and I've laughed at them little mugs. No chance in a million years. No chance in a million years.
City and mugs. Wow.
Don't say that.
All of them. Every single one.
Calm down, gal. That's what we're going to call you. We have two types of Spurs fans here. The old ones. Oh, gee, don't say old ones, bro. The old ones, like me, he did say like himself, who are reserved, and the young ones who are more optimistic. Obviously, there will clash. However, let's call someone not a fan if they have a different opinion, and I do agree with that. The whole there's more than one way to support a club. Question to the blonde lady: how can you judge our current team's prowess and talent on our previous failings? Please lighten up on our form.
Right, first of all, I just wanted to say I absolutely love Tottenham, and I met my husband at White Hart Lane 23 years ago before that child was even born. So Tottenham are properly in my blood and in my family. Do you know what I mean? That's where I met my husband, and I love it. And I'm all aboard the Ange train. What I cannot stand is how we've gone from 3-4 months ago when Kane left to everyone crying, saying, "Oh my God, what we're going to do?" to now we're going to win the league, right? What I'm judging this on is 23 years of neglect from our owner. Pochettino was on the cusp of something magnificent. Absolute cusp of it, and Levy didn't back him, right? Because this is what Levy does. Levy's aim every season is to get in Champions League because that's where the money is. It's as easy as that. And I know Jacob said that Levy's come out and said he's made mistakes. He said that before.
No, he hasn't.
Said it before.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't done a fan forum. He has not done a fan forum with the captain and the manager and answered questions about his decision making. No, that is false.
No, he said it on Bloomberg. If you watch the Bloomberg interview, he said he's made mistakes. He also said sacking Pochettino was one of the biggest mistakes, right? Yeah. So I'm judging it purely on a history. I trust Ange. I do not trust Levy to back Ange to the level he needs to win this Premier League. It's just as easy as that.
I agree. There's a thing to that, though, Kate, which is that I agree with Jacob because the club have actually brought in people now, which they hadn't done before. So there's a new guy
they brought in, and Levy said he'd step back, and he couldn't help himself but get involved.
Yeah, this is why I'm not. I mean, I myself, I love the start. I'm proud of the start. I really hope this goes on forever till the end of the season. But I'm not. I can't sit here and honestly say that we're in the title race until like come February, March. And if we're still doing what we're doing now, and if we've had a good January transfer window, because we definitely need another defender and we need a goal scorer. We need
a winger. We need a winger as well. Cooper doesn't do enough for me in the attacking sense.
Let's say something about our bench. I think our bench is completely overhated. Because let's be real, look at this team. People are saying when injuries come, but before, like a week ago, we had the most injuries in the Premier League. People forgetting that we've got the likes of Bentancur to come back.
Chelsea have got like 14 first-team players out.
Yeah.
Who?
So how have you come to that conclusion?
Chelsea.
A few weeks ago, because we have Perisic out. He's pretty much done from the club because his
we had about 4. They've got 14
out in the last week.
Man of Solomon. We have loads of injuries. We have loads and loads of injuries, and people are acting like, "Oh yeah, our crisis." Wait, let me speak. Our starting 11. If you look at the depth on our starting 11, okay, our goalkeeper, yeah, for sure, okay. Of course, we're not going to have depth on our goalkeeper. We have Guglielmo Vicario in the back, but it would be very unfortunate if our goalkeeper gets injured. You look at that centre back. That's where my biggest worry is centre back, because then we're going to probably have to bring in Eric Dyer unless the Ange Postecoglou is going to be bold enough to bring in Phillips. Wing backs, Cess still has to come back, which is a left back.
Senor, are you serious?
As the third option backup.
Oh my god! I wish I was.
No. Let me just.
Can I just say something just quickly? Because Terry,
you're not taking into account our second option. It's not starting option.
So Terry asked the question about whether Daniel Levy will do this or Daniel Levy will do that. The truth of the matter is, under Paratici, we brought in Udogie, we brought in Pape Sarr, we brought in Bissouma, we brought in Porro, we brought in Bentancur, we brought in Kulusevski. So. And for Tottenham, we're never going to be the team that's going to spend 100 mil on a player. So I agree with you, Kate. We're not going to probably go out and buy a name. But I do believe in Postecoglou. And if Postecoglou thinks a player is decent, I'm going to trust him. Based on the fact that he brought in Vicario, based on the fact of what I've seen with Van der Ven and Madders. We don't need to go out and get a big name that everyone knows. We just need to go out and get a good player.
We did spend 60 million on Richarlison, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, but when you look at what he's got right, he's had more right than wrong. In terms of players brought in.
What's your name, sorry? What's your name?
My name, Deji.
Who?
Yeah, Deji.
Right, okay, Deji, sorry. I wasn't being rude when I said I wanted to address you directly. I agree with what you say there, absolutely. But can you tell me, do you truly believe that when Ange Postecoglou comes out and says that Brennan Johnson was his first choice signing, and yet we left it till the last few days of the transfer window to bring him in? Surely if he was his number one signing, we'd have got it done earlier? No?
I agree. And Daniel Levy is a madman, but at the same time, I'm looking at it. We've got to remember that Pochettino helped build our stadium, and I'm not Daniel Levy fan, but let's give him the benefit of the doubt. The stadium cost £1 billion, so we couldn't go into the transfer market. We don't have that same issue now. Daniel Levy,
I don't give him the benefit of doubt,
and is stupid enough not to support Postecoglou. Then you know what? I put my hand up and say, he's a dusty man.
But you didn't answer my question.
That's not the problem, though. The problem for me is not how much money we spend. The problem for me is where we spend it. And now that we've got this new scouting form that relies on stats and numbers, I actually believe that the money that we're going to spend is actually going to put in the right areas. When you see that we have all this money and we spend it on 60 million, I'm one of Richarlison's biggest fans, but 60 million was a disgrace.
Yes. It doesn't matter, but that's just one. Remember, we also brought in Romero. I mean, guys, we've had more.
No. But what I'm saying is that we spend good amounts of money.
What I will say is this: if Tottenham can keep going, and fingers crossed, we don't get any injuries. Let's not wish bad on our players. I agree. We need backup in defence. We need a proper striker, and we need a midfield cover. But Dan is right. Bentancur is still to come back. He's a big game player. Brennan Johnson, he can do a job. And I think one thing that Postecoglou is not just a manager. He's a coach. He's renowned for making players better. The same qualities that Pochettino had. And that's why we went on the run that we had. Tottenham need to just go out and find the gem. I think where we were lost in no man's land because we wanted to be big, but we weren't ready to spend the money to be big. Now we've gone back to form. We know we ain't got the money. Now we got to go with our scouting team and find gems. And as long as we find a gem, in January 20. Look, this Vicario keeper's turned out to be a bloody gem. It only cost us 20. And that's 20. That's
very good.
That's what we're hoping for. If we get a bit more of that, I'm not saying we're going to win the league by no stretch. If we get top 4, it's been a fantastic season. And
Quick question, 1 second. So the talk about we couldn't go into the transfer market because we had £1 billion negates what Daniel Levy said before, because he said doesn't matter about the stadium, we can still spend in the market and the manager will still get back. So that's a no-go. So I just need to ask a question. I just need to ask a question of the people who have sat here and said Spurs are going to win the league, but can't nail it after 9 games. So you guys were sitting here last season saying Arsenal were going to win the league after 9 games, were you?
I didn't say it was impossible for them to win the league. I said my heart says no, they will not. But I said there's a chance they could.
Jacob, this is aimed at Harry, and I think Dan was on the.
Okay, all right. Let me talk.
Alan, I said.
And Dan, we'll come to you in a second, young man. Go on, Harry.
Right. What I want to ask is this: do you believe? Have you ever played Sunday League?
Yeah.
You played Sunday League. So before the game, do you just say, you know what, my 2 feet that I've got below me, they're useless. They can never kick a ball. They can never finish a ball. Or you say, you know what? I'm going to get out there and I'm going to score a goal.
Wait, Harry, let me answer Alan's question. Let me answer Alan's question.
Dan. Sorry. I want these to just hear this out because I don't know where this is going. I'm interested. Sorry, Dan.
It's a true point. Right. What I'm trying to say to you is, do you wake up in the morning, ready for the game at, let's say, 8 p.m. on a Monday? Yes, we're going to fucking smash it. Or do you go, you know what? Based on the statistics I've seen last season or last game, or do you wake up and you go, you know what? We win this, we're top of the league. Or we win this, we could potentially do it. I wake up and I swear to you, and I swear to everyone here, everyone watching, I wake up and I go, you know what? We win this, we're top. I was in the pub earlier, bunch of geezers, some northern geezers, supporting Spurs, all this. And I said to him, we win this, we're top of the league, right? We win this, we're top of the league. We're not second. We're not third. We're not sixth.
Alan,
we're top, right? We, and I'm going to say this to you all now. I'm going to say this to all the viewers here. I genuinely think it. I think we're going to win the league. And if you lot want to talk about this and that, that's fine.
But Harry, this is not a Disney film.
Harry,
the Disney
you didn't listen to what I asked.
Just because we believe we can do it. You have to have some type of basis to actually back it on, because it's not just we believe this.
Yeah, that's what
else is believed though. What else is believed?
Hang on. But this is the thing, right? If I start believing that I'm going to become an NBA basketball player, it isn't going to happen still. I am too old and too short.
You never know.
I'm not that short, by the way. I'm
you
like
never know.
You don't know. You could dunk it.
Just hang on, just one at a time. You do know there's certain things that you know that just believing is not going to help you to achieve. So for me, that's a weird wish. It's an answer that does sound like you were in the pub earlier and you've had too many sherbet. Honest, it's not grounded in anything. At least with what Jacob said, he's talking about. I think because Daniel Levy, look, whether you agree with it, Daniel Levy has changed his ways. He's admitted his mistakes. So I think he'll behave differently. Therefore, I think the manager will get backed, and I think we'll keep getting better. That's logical. You may not agree with it, but there is logic built within it. Saying because I believe that my 2 feet work, Spurs are going to win the league.
Terry.
That was amazing. Can I say this? I'll ask the question based on what he's saying about Spurs now. He must have been saying the same about Arsenal last season, because they were even playing better football than us after 9 games. And you can admit it, it's not hard. But you said nothing in regards to why I asked you. All I want to know is, what did you smoke before the show? Because you're unique. I was at the pub.
Listen, boys, I want to get through some more of these super chats here. This is Terry. As an Arsenal fan, I've always called Spurs the nephews from down the street with the nice stadium. But props to them so far. Let's see if they can keep it up until the end of the season. That's quite nice from Aguna, really. Thank you, MB.
Yes.
It's not just the results, but the performances the last 3 months, unreal. Ange is 100% different, but I'll never trust the board to not chuck it away. And listen, I also, someone who's got bad owners, just I genuinely mean this to Spurs fans. I would say this. I don't care that Daniel Levy's admitted his mistakes. I wouldn't care that it started well. You keep, metaphorically, nobody do this for real, keep your foot firmly on their necks. This is for years, because there's things that will happen, and this is no dig at your club, but it's a reality. Say Ange keeps getting better and better and winning. You do realize that Real Madrid's and the Barcelonas and the Man City, maybe they're going to start looking at your manager. and they'll start looking at your players. You need to make sure that nobody leaves. You then need to start paying these players, if they're as good as you say they are, Harry, the going rate, which is actually £350,000, £400,000 a week now. You've got the money to. This is why you can't just have a good 9 games and go, my owners are great again. It takes years to fix the problems they've created, and you have to keep your foot firmly on the neck for a long time. Arsenal's owners have turned a corner, but they've got to keep it going. They've got to keep it going. They can't just go, we're going to ignore them now, because we know what these people are like.
Yeah.
What I will say for that, Terry, is the good thing about the one thing that I will give Levy credit for is the man is a truly incredible businessman, and he's out there and all these deals. I know that he gets a lot of stick for the Formula One stuff and all the stuff, the NFL and all that kind of stuff. He's doing it to generate as much money for the club as possible. So from that perspective, yes, he's increasing the purse, if you like, the capacity of the purse, but the real test is, let's say, even if he brings the most amount of money in, are they going to spend it on that team to make it better? Like you say, in the coming years, and it's going to be key to buying the players that Ange needs.
All I can do is echo back what Spurs fans have been telling me on my shows for 5 years, that the ultimate aim is for them to earn money, not to win trophies. And maybe that's changed now, but I would say this: the fact you haven't won any trophies, I don't think that claim can be made. You can state that they've done some new things different. For instance, Man United are going to bring in Sir Jim, and he's going to bring in new people that everybody's heard of to run the club. Paul Mitchell, that you guys will obviously know very well.
Yeah, Paul Mitchell.
That's a change. That doesn't mean it's going to work. So I'm not going to suddenly sit there and go, that's it, we fixed the club because we've made some changes. You have to see change.
Proof is in the pudding, as they say.
And then it's got to deliver results, because at the end of the day, if it doesn't deliver results over a prolonged period of time, it's a flash in the pan. And you guys, I think, as Ellie said, you lot were so close to something special under Poch that not only did you make a mistake in not backing him, you then went on to get 3 managers on the bounce that played football that was nothing like what you'd created under him. You look back at it now, and it's honestly one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Connor here says, should Aston Villa fans believe they are going to win the title because they're only 4 points behind the top spot?
I don't think anyone should think they're in a title race in October, but I think Aston Villa are playing far better football than we are.
What are you talking about?
What
are you talking about?
I think their football this year has been phenomenal.
One at a time.
Yeah, Ellie, I'll give you that. If that child will stop shouting at me, Ellie, I agree with you. Me and Ellie have got a channel together, and I agree with you there. We're on a par with Villa. I expect us to finish round about Villa's level. The only thing I will say is their wingers are far superior to ours. But we're on a par with the level of football we're playing. I don't think we've played well for half of the games.
You haven't watched football in the last 23 years. Have you actually watched it?
Yeah, oh my God. Yeah, well, you was at school. I was watching it, darling.
Have you been to school? Have you learned how the world works?
Honestly, I can't cope with these children. This is why our the football fans are so deluded these days. I can't cope.
Calm down. Kate, what I will say is...
Guys, let me just say, instead of shouting, if you hear something you disagree, why don't you ask someone to explain what they mean and then have a conversation?
Okay.
Exactly. Something about Levy.
Yeah, go on, Ellie.
I want to say something about Levy. Right? Okay. Are you ready for this, guys and girls? Right. Levy, he's supposed to be a good businessman. What business is he in? He's in the business of football. What has he done for our club? He's built a stadium and put no trophies in it. 1 trophy in 23 seasons. That is not good business in my book, because you're in the business in football to win. You're not in the business in football to make loads of money and get Beyonce in and get all this other stuff in, right? That's not going to propel us. What's going to propel us is good business football sense, where you pump the money into the football side. That's what's going to get you success. Like, you don't have to spend millions and millions and millions on one player. You buy sensibly, like Newcastle now. They're building. They're getting fantastic results. They've got to the Champions League. They got to the League Cup final. All right, they lost it, but they're progressing. We've got to do the same. We've got to take a leaf out of Man City's book as well. They haven't splashed 120 million on a player. They've got, I think the most expensive player was Grealish, wasn't it? That was one. But the rest have been quite reasonable, right? Apart from, I think it's Rodri. I think they got 72 million for them. But we splashed 60 million on Richarlison. But we haven't seen 60 million pound worth of player. So the business of football is what he's in, right? So when people say he's a good businessman, why isn't he putting our club where we should be? Because Spurs, we were a top club under Bill Nicholson. And we need to get back to that.
Yeah,
Ellie, can I answer that?
Completely agree. I'm running out of time, and I've got so many super chats to do. Sorry, mate. Jerome here says, Harry, I like your enthusiasm, but it's 9 games, and we have a long season to go. However, keep your chest up, my friend. You are entitled to your opinion. A question I would ask you very quickly off that: if you don't win the league, who are you blaming? Is it the manager's fault?
It depends on why, how.
No, I'm just asking Harry. If you don't win the league, would you?
I'm blaming Richarlison.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, I'll tell you what. No. On a genuine one though, can I just say carry on with that? Right. So, as I mentioned earlier, I was in the pub, as I said, right, and just opposite me, watching the TV, was a guy, and he goes to me, "Oh yeah, fuck that." It's the early first half. He says to me, "Why is Son up front? Put Richarlison up front." All right. And I just laughed at him. I said, "What are you talking about, mate?" And then Richarlison got the assist for the Son goal. And he turned around at me. He goes, "Well, yeah, you're right, mate." So, honestly, obviously, I don't mean if the whole reason we don't win the league is because of Richarlison, yes, I'll look very stupid, as Kate is probably going to, with her head in her hands, gonna laugh at. If we don't win the league.
Harry, thank you. Thank you for that story, bro.
I love your enthusiasm.
Why are my fellow Spurs fans being so grossly negative? Vicario playing amazing. Romero, Maddison, Son, etc. all did well. But how about congratulating our players instead of whining and being pessimistic?
It's been realistic. Why have you got to be that ultra optimistic and say we're going to win the league? And if you don't, you're negative. I'm not negative. If we win the league, everyone can mud me as much as they like because I will be running around my roads screaming my head off. I'm being realistic. The chances of us winning the league are very, very slim. But yes, oh my God, I would love it. And I love every week when we win. But it's just keeping our feet on the ground. And also, Tottenham fans are doing what Arsenal fans did last year, and everyone took the pee out of them for it.
But Arsenal,
they're giving it large, saying they're going to win it, and they didn't. So be a little bit muddy, children.
Arsenal is the worst example because what we're saying is that we're going to be in the title race. And Arsenal fans, they were talking, but they were in a title race. There's no denying that. They were in a title race. And that's all I'm saying that we're in.
Yeah, no, but what I think, again, Kate, correct me if you're wrong. This time last year after 9 games, when Arsenal fans were saying we're in a title race, everybody in their dog was saying it's too early. A year, and this is sometimes, look, my job is working with football fans. I see it all the time. It's almost what we banter a rival for celebrating. It's like when Man United won the Carabao Cup. Liverpool fans were like, "Oh my God, your players have got their national flags on and the dancing." Liverpool fans said it. And then all the pictures from last year when their players did the same thing came out. And you just sit there and think to yourself, how are you bantering my players for the same thing your players did? Exactly. It's weird to me. This here says, should Aston Villa... Okay, I've already done that one from Connor. Thank you, Con. Son, Richarlison, Maddison's captain chemistry is playing a huge part. Lloris and Kane are amazing players, but not the best captains. This team, this is a real team. I mean, that's one thing I would say is not missing that the exit of those players is an added bonus whenever, I've had big players leave my team. You guys have had the same, but the bounce.
And
Harry Kane right now.
Terry.
Wouldn't it be my brother was saying earlier, he goes, imagine Spurs do win the league and Kane doesn't win the Bundesliga. It would be so
I said that to my husband as well.
It would be poetic, wouldn't it? It really, really would. My brother's actually happy with your club today because they've just had to pay Leighton Orient £1 million. So he's very, very happy.
Good.
Because you guys, you promised to relay their pitch, £1 million to relay their pitch for the women's play there, but then not a lot of people were coming to watch it because it was a bit of a travel from, not that far from Leighton to Tottenham. So they've cancelled it, but Spurs try getting out the contracts and they haven't been able to, so they've got to give
what a surprise.
£1 million. He tries to get out of it. They're buzzing. Listen, I want to thank everybody for tuning into the show, everybody that super chatted and hit the like button so far. Ellie and Kate, thank you for making your debuts on the show tonight. It was thoroughly entertaining. Young Daniel, Ari, Alan, Borchi, of course, Jacob had to shoot off, and Deji as well. Thank you all for coming on to the show. Tomorrow at 3:30, myself and Lee Gunner are live, plus match reactions to the Champions League games, United Copenhagen and Sevilla versus Arsenal. Until next time, take care. Goodbye. God bless. I'll see you all again soon. Peace.